Okay, are we live? Looks like we're live. Okay. Hope the music's not too loud. Hi everyone. I'm Jarrell from Sungrand. If we haven't met, I make the Silver Falls games, so thanks for stopping by. I'm making this video because I want to chat about development, let you guys know what's going on with White Inside its Umbra, and let you know how crazy things have been behind the scenes. So I'm doing this as a live stream so that it's faster for me to make the video. Otherwise, I'd have to edit and upload, and that it takes a chunk out of my day when I really need to be working on development. So, um, oh, let me level with you guys. This has been this has been a brutal project to work on. So I've been working on our uh, main titles that have been on the schedule, taking a look at the market and planning out what games would be important and wise to work on. And so we've been focusing on Switch development. And as the end of the Wii U uh, sort of era is rolling into sight, I kept getting more and more people that were saying, "Hey, whatever happened to that canceled Wii U game? Oh man, I'd love to see that. It'd be possible to see a video of it or get an ISO of it just to see." And it just reminded me how great the Wii U was and how passionate people can still be, even though Nintendo isn't outwardly supporting it with new releases. People can still enjoy that console despite its flaws, despite the fact that it wasn't marketed well. I still absolutely love the Wii U. And so I thought, you know what? The world has been so crappy lately, is just putting it lightly. Things have not been great, and the world is not, it doesn't feel like a cool place. And I just wanted to do something that was cool. I know I'm not going to make a lot of money out of this. I don't care about that. It doesn't matter. There's still a lot of Wii U owners out there and a lot of 3DS owners and people who still use their consoles regularly. And I've been getting messaged from people who got theirs recently, um, and they say, "Oh man, this is really cool. I'm looking forward to a new game." And I think if I can just do something really cool for even just a couple people out there, this would really brighten up, their day, their week, their month, their year. This is a special title that's not going to work on any other system. It's only for the Wii U, and those people feel like uh, this is something special just for them. And I think if I can reach a couple people, do something cool like that, it would make their year feel like it's off to a cool start. My year's been off to a rough start, and a lot of people that I know have been had a rough year. So that's why I'm doing this Wii U game. Is I just really want to do something cool, but it's it's a huge investment of time and energy because I was in the middle of our Switch game development, which means I had to pause those, and I'm focusing entirely on the Wii U development, and it's brutal because uh, I don't have a lot of time to make this game. Nintendo is ending submissions for Wii U and 3DS this year, which means I'm scrambling to get this whole game done, and I don't want to put a cheap asset flip out onto the Wii U. I want something that's unique, that's going to last a long time, that people can feel like someone actually cared about making the most out of the Wii U's unique features that no other console can do. So that's why I'm working on this, and I really hope people uh, get a kick out of this, and I really hope this, brightens up people's day. Um, Getting a game made just for them. I want people to feel like there's a developer who cares about them as a fellow gamer. And who cares about how passionate people are about a system. So, all right, that's past the mushy ooey gooey stuff. Um, I always enjoy hearing from people who really like the skill board system from Three Down Stars. So if you haven't played Three Down Stars yet, it sort of has a chessboard sort of thing, and each playable character has skills that are laid out in a unique way on the skill board, and you have to complete missions and you collect what are called skill links, and those have different shapes, and you have to line up the skill links in order to activate certain skills, which means it's when you're first starting the game out, you cannot activate all the skills. And sometimes you'll have to take skill links from other players or from other characters and then put them onto another character that you're playing. so you can try to activate the skills. And I thought it would be very fun, and I was always worried, are people going to be irritated by how complex this can be? But in general, I hear that people really enjoy that system. So I wanted to come up with something that's interesting and unique for White Inside its Umbra. So this is the skill wheel system. This is the first look at it. No one has ever seen it before. This is it. I've actually just started programming it this morning. It's been the design documents for a few months, and I'm rushing to get the entire thing programmed today. I'm finishing programming on the entire menu system and the input system for the Frontier Hunters mode, which is an entire game onto itself. That's aside from story mode. This is something that you'll be able to play for hours and hours and hours. You and some friends can take on a couple missions and just keep having fun with the system uh, long after you finish the story mode. This is something that's meant to really last and make you feel like you've got something to do on the console. So, in a similar way to the skill board, the skill wheel um, uses skill spokes. So when you first start out, let me go ahead and disable some of these. Right. Go to my mounting point here. I'm just looking at my screen off to the side there. Um, and let me get rid of these guys as well. Let's see here. Where are you? Can we just get rid of you? Yeah, we'll hide that guy. And then we'll hide that guy. Okay, and then we'll hide this guy. So uh, these are just I'm working out the template for where I can put the nodes. So these are the skill nodes. Those are placeholders. The skill nodes for each playable character will be scattered across the wheel. Each character that you play as has a unique layout with different skills. So in order to activate the skills, you have to intersect them with a spoke. So let me hide these nodes very quickly just so they are out of the way. So the most basic looking skill spoke is this guy. So if there were any skill nodes in that path, then it would activate the skill, and then you'd be able to use that skill. So let me just grab that. If I wanted to put one in there, now I've got, you have 6 spots where you can put skill spokes. Let's drop another one in there. See? You can drop more and more in there, and then if there were skills there, you'd activate it. I'm just going to undo that now, and I'll show you how interesting the skill spokes can get. So let me randomly grab, oh, here's a funny looking guy. Here's a spoke right here. So if there were any skills, so you can see if there were a skill there, he would activate that, but if there were a skill there, he would miss it entirely. Let's find another funny skill spoke. Ah, here's an interesting looking one. Fantastic. So you can see that one looks quite kind of funny. We'll get rid of that guy. I quite like the look of this skill spoke. Aesthetically, I wanted to make something that I thought, if you had this hanging on the wall, you know, it'd be a pretty nice conversation piece, something nice to look at. And that's what was my idea aesthetically with designing the wheel and the modular pieces. So you can see if there were skills around the outside, you would be able to activate them, but if there were a skill in the middle, you would miss out on that. So that's the idea behind the skill spokes, is that they all come in some funny shape uh, that helps you activate skills in a certain way. This is a fun looking fella. Look at that guy. The letter Z. Okay. So now what I will do, what I'm actually doing right now, I'm in the middle of work, and I'm just going to show you how I'm lining up the template for the skill node. And I'm just going to double check that I am recording, just to make sure I'm not talking to myself here. Is this live streaming? Okay, so I am live streaming. Okay, cool. Oh, cool. Mike Garcia. Hi, how's it going? Sorry, I'm not really looking at the chat. I'm actually just working, but hi, thanks for watching. Anyway, I'll show you what I'm working on here. Um, so this skills, I'm lining up the nodes so I know where they will intersect with the skill spokes. So I'm actually very much in the middle of development. This thing is almost done. So you can see, I'll do one spoke at a time and you can see what's going on here. So what I'm actually adjusting right now is, you see you have this round skill spoke. And I quite like the design of that. It's quite fun. I want him to only activate that one, that one, that one, and that one. And I don't want him to activate these corner ones. So what I'll do now is I'll just move them out of the way. And if I have a look at the collider here, those colliders no longer intersect, which means this round skill spoke will not activate those guys. Okay, I'm going to move these guys out as well and just make sure. Yes, so he will not activate those, and just make sure that visually it's clear to the player what's going on, so it's not confusing. All right, and of course the whole thing won't be filled. Each character has skill nodes in certain locations. I'm just setting this up as a template so I know where I can place the skills and have it make sense with the logic of the spokes. I'm going to enable a couple more, well, I have to check every single piece, of course. So I take every single piece into account and I make sure that I'm only activating the ones that are intended to be activated. Let's go ahead and do a orthographic top-down view. So this Z shape, I can see which skill nodes it's going to activate. I'm cutting it a little close to this guy here, but you can see I've just missed it. Fantastic. So this skill spoke, this one, and this one will be activated. So if you had those skill nodes on your character's skill wheel, then those would be activated and nothing else. Great, that one does work, and I just have to step through and check every single skill spoke individually. Here we go. Ooh, this is a fun one. So this is a pretty, there's going to be booster spokes, and those booster spokes are better than normal spokes. And we're going to be distributing booster spokes through events. So we're going to be running a couple contests, some giveaways. You can participate in some like hide and seek. There's going to be some fun stuff. You can find hidden content. It's something that we did with 3 Down Stars, was a few hide and seek things or Easter egg hunts. People participated in the Easter egg hunts, and then they got cool items and unlocks. So we'll be doing a bunch of booster giveaways for the skill spokes. So as you play the game, you stay in touch with the social media, because I'll be running the giveaways and Easter egg hunts through there, and then participating. And if you can find everything on the Easter egg hunts, we'll distribute a bunch of these booster spokes. So the booster spokes generally are really, they're great because they'll hit things. This is an example of a booster spoke. You can see he misses that guy and that guy. Let me make sure he's missing these as well, so we can see. Yes. All right. Oh, hey, what happened? I thought I had a guy over here, but he's gone. One of my guys disappeared. I'm gabbing away here. I must have accidentally deleted it. I'll fix it up. That's no big deal. But this booster spoke, you can see it activates 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions, which is pretty rad. Pretty rad. Okay. Let me see. Here's another. Okay, that one's probably the best booster spoke, really. Here's another booster spoke. Let's see here. So this guy. Oh, huh. Okay. I'm in the middle of development, so I was shocked and surprised. This one's an interesting booster spoke because he's activating 6. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me just make sure he's not touching these guys. Cool. So he misses out on the middle ones, but he gets these outside ones. So I think that's a pretty good booster spoke. He's a pretty cool one. Let me check. Here's a fun one. Wow. Okay, this guy's pretty rad. I'm gonna have to fine tune this fellow, of course. Let's see. So he's hitting 1. Well, if there 1 was there, that's kind of irritating me actually. I'm just gonna duplicate that fellow and put him there. Right. So let's have a look and see what we're activating. We've got 1, 2, 3. Is he activating that? Oh, just tickling him right there. I'm gonna fine tune it and balance it, and I'll see what I need to do, whether I want that one to be activated by this one or not. We can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's pretty good. Uh, I think I will fine tune. I'll adjust it so that it won't activate these, because if it activates 10, that's way too good. So and not to mention the nodes won't only be up there, they'll also be all around the wheel as well. So this is fly one in front of me or something. So I'm pretty good with this one. I will adjust that later on. So I'll have to make a mental note of that, make sure I don't mess up. Get rid of that guy. Let's see. Ah, this is a fun looking spoke. I really like this one. Take a look at this. All right, let's check which ones he is activating. Wow, this one's really good. Okay, we've got 3 here. That's 6. Uh, and 7 in the middle. It's pretty rad. Kind of want to just look at that with the. That's pretty neat. I quite like that. I like that spoke. That's a fun one. Very fun. And for me, I want this to be visually satisfying to look at. I'm a gamer just like you guys, and so it's nice having a game where just the small little aesthetics, you look at it and it just makes your eyeballs feel nice, and that's something that I really wanted to keep in mind when creating the skill wheel, because this is an area where you're going to spend quite a bit of time. For example, in Three Down Stars we had the skill board. People have told me they spend hours, planning out, and it's like puzzle solving in order to activate your skills, and people say they enjoy it. So I thought, okay, I'll make sure I put in enough time with the skill wheel, make sure this is very fun to spend time on it. There's nothing worse than having to jump hoops through a convoluted system just to use your character skills. So if it's not fun, there's no point in doing it. I'm not here to make make people miserable and make people feel like they're doing homework just to use their character skills. Right. Let's go ahead and get rid of that guy. This is a funny elbow guy. So I explicitly created this spoke so that um, to reach that node out there. Otherwise, it's pretty hard to activate. So just to make sure what's going on here, I really don't want him activating that guy, so I will move him over. Okay, he misses out that guy, which is intended, but he reaches this guy, which is good, and he reaches these two, which are good, which means, oh, that is a close shave. That's really cutting it close. Woo, look at that. Okay, so it will miss it. I think I will. Oh, yeah, I'm visually going to adjust the arm to be a bit thinner so it's not misleading. I think I'll do that now while I have it in mind. So this guy, let's move him out of the way just a little bit. I'm sort of seeing how close is it getting to that. This is okay. It's just all a little bit close, isn't it? Okay, here we go. So, yeah, now that I've started off with the fun stuff, I'll let you guys know what's been going on with development, because things have been absolutely brutal. So I've been working between 120 and 130 hours a week since the start of the year. I worked that schedule last year and it destroyed my health. I had to stop in November and December. I couldn't work that schedule anymore. But after I shifted to working on White Inside Its Umbra, I had to pick that work schedule up again because, again, I'm a solo developer and this game has to be submitted to Nintendo like right now because they're ending submissions. So if I don't finish this within a week and send it in, there's likely not going to be enough time for them to process it, which means it won't get published. That would be an absolute nightmare. So I'm pushing to get this game done, and I've never worked this. Uh, uh, I'm going to say frantically. I worked intensely doing Three Down Stars, Undertakers, and Episode Prelude, but I was never under a deadline like this, where it was get this in under a certain date, or it's not going to land on the hardware that it's designed for. And it's not. This doesn't work on any other console, so that's why I've really been pushing it. Um, I'm doing serious damage to my shoulder, which is, I'll cross that road when I get to it. But I generally stop. I'll play fiddle throughout the day just so I can stretch my shoulder. I put a heat pack on my shoulder from time to time, and I make sure to stop and stretch. So, because I really messed up my shoulder working on Three Dawn Stars and Episode Prelude, and I really don't want to incur damage like that again. Let's go ahead and fix this guy. He has a partner that goes on the other side. What is it, 11? Cool. Skill spoke 11. Let's just go ahead and adjust our dudes here. So what happened the other day, which was an absolute complete nightmare, um, was I had done tons of development on the game. I ran it on my testing development kit, and lo and behold, the touchscreen on the gamepad didn't work. And I wasn't sure if it was a problem with Unity, as it often is, because I had incredible issues, one after the other, developing for the 3DS. It was an absolute nightmare. And I never knew if it was my fault or if it was the development software. Uh, and so it was a nightmare working on 3DS development. So I wasted almost an entire day trying to get my touchscreen to work. I programmed an entire operating system, the TechPad. It runs the apps. You've got your GPS, your camera, your extra flashlight, all sorts of the apps that you need for the game. Touchscreen wasn't working. Uh, it, it I thought, this is it. This is the end. If I can't test the game, then I can't submit it because I know that there's things that's not going to work properly. And I thought, this is the end. I'm going to have to cancel the game. This is the worst case scenario now. Um, but it uh, got to the end of the night, and I was desperate, and I thought, I don't know what I'm going to do about this. So I grabbed my retail Wii U, and I thought, there's no way this is going to work, you know. Um, and I spent some time on it, and I was able to pair my retail unit to my development kit. And would you believe, it was like at 1:30 at night. I was absolutely, completely, utterly exhausted. I was just, depressed the whole day because I thought, I've put in all this work. I've promised people this game that's just for them, and I'm going to have to cancel it. And at like 1:30 in the morning, I saw my gamepad, my retail gamepad, sync up to my dev kit. I thought, I've got to run this thing. I've got to run it and see. And I ran my test build, and it worked. The touchscreen worked. The functions that I programmed work. And I thought, oh wow, this is a nightmare that's just ended. So at that point, I realized, okay, this is doable. I can do it. Uh, but then once I started testing on the gamepad, I realized there was another huge issue, and that issue was, there's a problem with Unity, and it wasn't uh, sending the sound to the external speakers. You're supposed to be able to send sound to the speaker on the gamepad and to your Wiimote. And there are gunshot sound effects. There's interactive sound effects that come through the Wiimote, and there's all your alerts when you get messages on your gamepad. All of those are supposed to come through. You're supposed to be able to have music playing through there. And that was a nightmare because now those sound effects aren't going to work. And it's not immersive if a sound from your tablet is coming out of the screen. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to have to apologize to people and say, look, I'm sorry that the game isn't as good as it could be because the development software is faulty. And no one wants to hear that. No one wants to hear a complainer. No one wants to hear excuses. No one wants to hear negativity. And my only recourse would just be to apologize and say, look, I'm sorry, I did my best, but uh, I'm on a time constraint, and I just wasn't able to get that feature working properly, which would have absolutely, it would have sucked. Um, and just, you know, a shot in the dark. I did not expect a response because the Wii U is in sort of a sunset phase now, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing uh, I hold against Nintendo. It's an old product. They're phasing it out. 100% respect them for that. I sent them an email and I said, look, I really want to create something special for your customers, for the Wii U fan base that's still supporting the software. We want to celebrate the life of the Wii U. Here's the game that we're working on. This is the problem we're having. The sound's not coming through the speaker. And Nintendo stopped distributing Unity for Wii U because they ended developer support for that. And so I said, are you able to just send through some version where the the external speaker is working? Uh, in less than a day, they responded to my email, and I was completely shocked because I did not expect that at all. And they said, "Yeah, we can help you with that. We'll get it sorted right away." And I had to do a double take, and I said, "What? Wow, that's incredible, And people complain and they say Nintendo doesn't care about the Wii U, and oh, they forgot about it. You guys have to keep in mind what they just did for us, because this game is going to be totally different and way better because they've gone out of their way. They don't even support development. They're not supposed to. They've announced they don't support development for Wii U anymore using Unity and whatnot. And they went out of their way and they said, yeah, we're going to help you fix that. So this is this is Nintendo saying, "Wait, no, we do care. Don't say that Nintendo outright doesn't care about the Wii U because they've done something huge for us for the Wii U users, and it shows that they really do actually still care because it they sent me, a really positive message, uh, and I that was a huge deal for me. It was quite energizing as a developer because at this point I'm running on fumes. I'm completely and utterly exhausted. I've been working brutally on this. No one should be working the way that I am on this, and I'm only doing that because we're so short on time. I'm not trying to be a martyr, and I'm not saying poor me. I don't have the right to complain because I've chosen to make this huge game for a console that's in a sunset phase right now. So I'm not complaining. I don't have the right to complain anyway. But the fact that Nintendo has gone out of their way to help me make this game for the Wii U community, it's so heartening, and that gave me this huge boost. So right now I'm on like an adrenaline high right now because of how cool Nintendo has been and how supportive they've been. And I really, I'm not exaggerating when I say I absolutely needed that boost because I was barely running on fumes. I was barely running at all, and the fact that they're helping me now is is sort of giving me that last bit of energy that I need to really get this project done. So I'm extremely excited to get this all sorted out, and I'm barely paying attention to what I'm doing here. I need to make sure all those pieces are in there. I'm missing my end cap. Oh no. What can I do here? Let's see here. I'll just duplicate this guy right here. That's what happens when you're developing and gabbing away. Can I just grab that end cap, please? Yeah. All right, what I will do now is clone that guy. Can I do this? Did that work? Cool. Yeah, I think that worked. Alrighty. All right, cool. This is one of our boosters. A booster spoke. Okay. Alrighty. So where we're at with development is it's so close to being finished. I'm running through story mode with testers a few times. We'll be testing out Frontier Hunters, which is this mode, the first a light gun shooter, which is I think fits the spirit of the platform well. Uh, and I This is just between you and me now because I don't know how long this video is, but you've stuck around, you've watched the whole video, so this is a secret between you and me. Uh, I'm trying to get balance support working, the balance board. So obviously I have my hands full with the core content, so I'm actually have three workstations and my hands are like this, I'm debugging on this computer and I'm testing over here and I'm writing the soundtrack on this one, and then I'm doing the core programming for the UI and the game logic here. So I'm kind of wired on coffee, and I've got that boost, from Nintendo helping me out. So I'm getting the game done. So but my legs are free. My arms are busy doing all the development, but my legs are free. So I'm thinking if I can use them and implement balance board, what I want to use the balance board for is optional to move your character in story mode. So instead of using the D-pad on the Wiimote, you can lean, you can do it sitting down. What you can sit on the couch, you can shift the weight on the balance board, and you can move the character around that way. Um, if I have time, that will be implemented. My balance board is broken. I was up late one night doing uh, workstation programming, trying to get the balance board to work. But then I remembered a couple years ago my balance board stopped syncing, and I was trying it on my retail unit, on my development unit. Wouldn't sync at all. I don't have time to go out to to hunt for a balance board. But a good friend of mine, Grant, is who helps me test. He's coming around. He actually did the voice for the Animele announcer, and he's bringing around his balance board tomorrow. So while we're developing, he'll be testing, and then hopefully we can get a board connected and I can get that implemented. I do want to implement it in the secondary game mode as well. Uh, I'm thinking if enemies launch projectiles at you, if you have the balance board, you can shift the weight on the balance board and you can get the characters to avoid getting hit by projectiles. And that's something that I think just could be a lot of fun. It's a little bit like Time Crisis. You step on the pedal and then you duck down. I'm a big Time Crisis fan. I grew up in the arcades, so I played a lot of House of the Dead and anything that was designed to eat your quarters. You know, I was there. And I just want to bring that sort of fun and excitement where you're with your friends and you're all, doing a thing. And I'm hoping I have time to implement daily missions. So even though, you've been playing the game for hours and hours and you've built up, strong characters and you've got good weapons, coming back to the game, even after a few months, the daily missions will sort of have randomly generated stuff. And that'll be the sort of the game expects you to have extremely high level characters and equipment, and those will be brutal missions, and there'll be missions that you can only realistically complete if you have 3 or 4 people and someone on the gamepad playing with you. Let me show you the gamepad as well before we log out here. So I've given you an idea. Just for fun, let's populate the skill wheel here. We'll fill this in, and then you can have a look at, sort of what it would look like when you're playing the game and you've got it filled up. All right, we're looking at our mounting points, and let's drop some of these in. How about we drop this guy in here? Oh, that's a fun one. I like that one. Okay, go to this one. I'm randomly picking these. I'm not even checking what they are. I'm randomly picking this guy. Oh, that's boring. Similar to the other one. Let's pick this guy. 3. And you know what? If you just want to, if you don't even care about activating the skills, if you just want to build a really nice looking skill wheel, hey, do it, It's your save file. It's your Wii U, do what you want. So this is what the wheel can look like. I might just screenshot that actually, and that's pretty fun. I'll share that on social media. Hold on, hide my gizmos here. Something I really like in this is an older version of Unity, but in 2019, there's a button you can click that just hides the gizmos. I really like that. So this is something that the skill board or the skill wheel can look like. Just a fun, funny little guy. And of course, you'll have the skill nodes for your characters scattered all around, and you just want to hit as many skill nodes as you can to activate those. So I'm going to share with you now. I'm going to run the game. I'm going to make sure nothing spoilery happens here, and nothing. I don't reveal anything that violates a legal thing here. Just gonna be real careful while I run this. Yeah, it's my fun skill wheel. Look at this guy. He's a fun little fella. All right, I'm gonna run it, and then I'm gonna kill the stream instantly if something happens. All right, here we go. Hold on, hold on. Let's see what happens. We're good? We're fine? Okay, nothing happened. All right. This is what you see on the gamepad. So you're holding the gamepad. Let's see here. Let's see. So, and that's the wrong. Over there. That's the wrong portrait. It's a placeholder. That's Holt. The character is Owl. The player using the gamepad is playing as the character Owl. Uh, and you can see if you select one of these, then this character Owl will carry extra ammunition. So what the gamepad player does is the gamepad player can drag and drop ammunition into the weapons of the other players, and it saves those players having to reload. But you have to do it one at a time. So you drag and drop your handgun ammunition into the other player's gun, but only if they're not using that gun. Players can equip 3 weapons, and they can take 3 weapons with them into each mission. So the 2 weapons that are not being used, you can drag and drop ammunition into that. And each ammo type has a stat called a round per reload. I call it an RPR. I think it sounds really cool. So your RPR is how many rounds of ammunition do you reload every time you drag and drop ammunition into the gun. So say, for example, your submachine gun, every time you drag and drop ammo onto another player's gun, it puts 4 into their gun. But when you have a stronger weapon like a shotgun or a rifle or a revolver, it only puts in 1 round. But when you play the game as Owl, you can earn experience points, and then you can spend those experience points so you can level up your RPR for each different thing. So you can level up your RPR for handgun, for your cryo weapons, your flame weapons, your electro weapons, and this is going to be some funny beta video here because that's the wrong icon for that. anyone who's played Three Down Stars, and yeah, even in episode Prelude, that's the wrong icon. So, but I love that stuff. Watching beta videos and seeing icons like in Resident Evil and Silent Hill, where the icons are different from what they are in the final game. I love that kind of thing anyway. But that's wrong. Um, that's from the beta archive that I had sitting in there, and I forgot. Um, yeah, and you can also upgrade your capacity. So uh, Owl can take 50 rounds of handgun ammunition, at level 0. You can level that up and increase your capacity so that you can carry more ammo with you. You can also take one support item in with you. So you have dynamite, and you can only take one mission item with you. If you take dynamite with you, then you can throw some dynamite in, and you can, damage the enemies and help the team out. So you're not just reloading as well. Uh, alter, alternatively, I'm so exhausted. I'm really, I'm burning the candle at both ends here, and I don't know how words work anymore. Alternatively, you can take a first aid. You can take first aids with you. So instead of taking dynamite, you can take first aid drinks. And so when your party members get injured, you can heal them. So you can be a healer if you want. And lastly, if you want to be more active in the battle, you can take a bunch of throwing knives with you. And that quantity is going to be much higher than 5. That's placeholder data, but you'll be able to uh, touch and drag on the gamepad, and then the throwing knives will go based on your how you swipe, and you'll be able to participate. So the character of Owl isn't really big on guns. His wife is big on guns. Owl not so much, so he's not. But he's happy to carry all the ammunition and help you reload, and he's happy to do some throwing knives and some dynamite. And if you're shooting and you just sort of open your mouth and face up, he'll pour a first aid drink into your mouth. And what a nice guy. I have a funny feature here. So when you're holding the gamepad, it's looking it's looking down at his lap here, and you can actually invert that, and you can look up at him. It's kind of like the shock you get when you turn your camera on your phone mode. It's like, oh man, is that what I look like? I kind of look like Jabba the Hutt for some reason. Uh, just a funny little detail. You can turn that off, and then you can also, if you just want to hide that, you can just enjoy the ground, I guess. So anyway, that's what the gamepad looks like. I better be careful now and be careful not to do anything too spoilery. Oh, there is a cool fun thing here. Let me go ahead and flip that around. Um, just a fun detail. Uh, where Owl is looking, he's actually looking where the cursor is pointing. So where your Wiimote is pointing on the screen, the characters in the camp site will look, if you're pointing there and there. So it's fun. I feel like it's kind of a little bit like a Navi situation from Ocarina of Time. It's like they're sort of watching a cursor on a screen, but it's uh, just a fun little detail. So oh yeah, let me move this. It's not even on screen. I'm talking and talking. So you can see where it's looking is actually towards the Wiimote pointer that I've got on the screen, which is on a different screen. That's just a fun thing. I've always enjoyed that kind of thing, because then you don't always want to play the game as a gamer. I always think about how people would engage with the games that I make uh, in the way that I engage with games. And I think it's important when you're designing a game, you don't create the game just for people to do the thing that you're telling them to do. People will do other things. They'll play the game in a way where they don't want to have the game on, and to interact with it in a way where they don't have to play it. And I think that's a way where sometimes you just want to chill. You can listen to this nice campfire music. You just relax. You vibe. You listen to the campfire, and you sort of just, make your characters look around the screen. And that's something I always keep in mind, is what can people do? How can people engage with the game if they don't feel like playing it, but they still want to play it? You know what I mean? Um, and that's just something that's chill. It's relaxing. There is a feature, and I'll let you guys know since I'll wrap up the video pretty soon, but there's a feature that I absolutely wanted. So this piece of music that's playing right now, you're hearing one instrument play at a time. The way it was supposed to work is that there's different instrument parts. I have an 8-string acoustic bass that I built myself. I have a classical guitar, a mandolin, violin, and a banjo, and all of those instruments were supposed to play out of the Wiimotes. So if you only had one player, you would only hear one instrument part. But if you had other players who each had their own Wiimote, the sound of the instrument for the music would be coming out of their Wiimote. And I felt that simulated the feeling of people sitting around a campfire. And I thought it's such a fun way to use the technology that is so special about the Wii. Uh, but there's a problem I can't really discuss much because it's behind NDA. But there's an issue with the development software again, where I can only get sound to come out of one player one Wiimote. And look, hey, that's not the end of the world. That's fine. I'm happy to accept that. It sucks that I can't do the thing that I wanted because I thought it'd be neat, but now only you guys know. So it's just between us, a cool little behind the scenes developer secret. Um, you can tell your friends at school, tell them that your uncle works at Nintendo and he told you this, and see if they believe you. But that was my intention. Was I wanted people to have friends hang out at their house, the instrument for this song playing it. I thought that would build a cool sense of togetherness that you are sitting around a campfire. But what I can do is I can have one instrument playing out of the TV. I can have an instrument playing from the gamepad, and I can have one instrument playing out of the Player One Wiimote. And what I will do is now I'll randomize. I'll write a few extra music parts now, uh, and I will randomize which instrument plays out of which audio source. And hopefully that site, the campfire song will be a little bit different because different instruments are playing and they all have different musical parts to it. So I guess I'll wrap this up. I really need to get back to development. Um, but I'm grateful to everyone for supporting the project. Thank you to everyone who's picking up the Silver Falls games. For everyone that's stuck around, there are people here that have been since the very beginning. There are people that have joined from the Game Boy Color game, from Episode Prelude from Undertakers. Thank you guys so much. I'm so grateful to you. I absolutely cannot do this without you guys. I'm a solo developer. I'm I'm absolutely exhausted day, and I don't always have time for marketing. And when I do get time to do the website and do the marketing and social media, there's typos, there's issues. I'm absolutely exhausted at point of the day because I work at a grueling pace. Um, I'm not complaining. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that's how I work. I I don't want people to work like that. Please don't work like that. It's not a good way to work. But I want to make sure all you Wii U owners out there, I want to make sure you all get this one last awesome game, and it's something that you'll be able to enjoy with friends for years and years. You can play the game with your kid. Your kid can do the touchpad. You can do the shooting. I just want to give something really special to people, and that's why I'm pushing myself so hard. Is if I miss this opportunity, I will have disappointed all these people from all around the world. I don't want to let anyone down, so I just want to make sure I get this game out and that it's really fun. It's really special, and it'll last a long time. Guys, Nintendo is on our side. They do want me to finish this game and to make it as good as it can be, and to get it on the hardware. So for now, let's cut them some slack. Let's stop saying that they don't care, because in this situation, Nintendo is absolutely making White Inside Its Umbra happen. I'm so grateful to them. Thank you to everyone for supporting Silver Falls. Um, if you want to help, just tell people that a Wii U game is coming, and it's something that it can't exist on any other system, and in no way can. Oh no! Oops. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Wow, I wasn't. Man, I was mindlessly scrolling. I accidentally. There were spoilers in that, so I hope if you're watching that, maybe you weren't paying attention. Those are massive. I'm not supposed to show which playable characters are unlockable. With White Inside Its Umbra, you skill link to the other Silver Falls games, the ones that are currently out, and future titles, and you get playable characters added to this game from the other games. Oops. I don't know which characters were visible. I don't know what you could see. I shouldn't have done that. That's Look, guys, I told you I'm exhausted. I'm live streaming. I can't edit that now, so don't rewind that. Don't look. I I'm gonna stop running the game now. So anyway, I'm going back to development. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for telling people about White Inside Its Umbra. Let other Wii U owners know if they want a cool exclusive game. This is definitely coming to them. I'm working as hard as I can. Development will be finished in about 3 to 4 days now. It's a grueling process because these menus are not finished programming, but I'm rushing to get that all done. But it should be done. We're testing and developing concurrently, and I just want to get as much stuff jam-packed in here as I can. If Nintendo says that I have the time, I do want to get a couple more fun apps on the gamepad. There's a full operating system on the gamepad. It's called the TechPad. For people who have played the other Silver Falls games, they might have noticed it from 3 Down Stars, and the messenger for the TechPad does exist in episode Prelude. I saw someone say, "Oh, I'm not excited for this game anymore because I saw that you play it with a Wiimote." And look, I get it. I get where you're coming from. I was a big Wii fan and a big Wii U fan, and I always wanted games to use the analog stick on the nunchuck, and the Wiimote can be for pointing and shooting. So I was always pretty disappointed when I heard that games just used the Wiimote. So I get it. I understand if you're not excited for Wii U because you're using the Wiimote, but all I'm saying is give it a shot because I understand where you're coming from. I know how disappointing it is when games use Wiimote control schemes. And keep in mind, I don't want to make a disappointing game. So that's where I'm coming from. Please give it a shot. You might find that the control scheme I've come up, maybe you like it. Maybe you won't mind it because I am keeping it in mind that I don't want it to be annoying. Uh, and we'll see how much content I get. If I've got enough time, if Nintendo gives me just like another day or two, I want to just make a bunch more games for the operating system on the gamepad because this is the last game that we're getting, really, the last big major game we're getting on the Wii U. Uh, so if I pack a bunch of smaller mini games on the gamepad, it's more games for us to play. That's where I'm coming from here. There's already a driving game. There's a Wild West open world exploration adventure game in there. And I want to pack a bunch more in there. The other day I showed Pony Petter, but I actually want to make a few more games that just use the a standard control scheme and that you can just play that. And if you don't feel like playing White Inside Its Ember, there's a couple smaller games that you can play in there. If I can get it, I can get it. But again, time is absolutely against us. I need to get this into Nintendo like last week, and I'm struggling at this point because I am absolutely exhausted. I thought I could handle this workload for a longer than I could, but I haven't really fully recovered from last year yet. So I've all of January I've been working this schedule, and I'm feeling the drag from it. I'm relying on coffee and Cool Ranch Doritos to keep me awake. It's not great, but that's life. And I just want to get this game done so that people can have this game and enjoy it for years and years. So again, this is my thank you to all of you. Thank you for telling other people about the game. Thank you for supporting Silver Falls. There's 2 free games on the website. If you don't, want to check out the 3DS one because you don't have a new 3DS, I know that one's a bit tough because it needs the new system. If you don't want to play the Switch game, Episode Prelude, the game is free. You can grab that. You can put the ROM on anything. We also have Frontier Fighters Mini, and that's a JRPG that's based on 3 Down Stars. I've included emulators on there so you can put it on a bunch of systems. Try those and see if the atmosphere of Silver Falls is something that you enjoy. There's also a novel that you can read for free. That's Heavy Shadow. There's about 3 chapters left, and I had to put that on hold because I wanted to focus on this development. But I will be making paperbacks and hardcovers for Heavy Shadows. I don't know. Maybe I can like autograph some and send some out in a giveaway. I don't know. We'll get there when we get there, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm gonna end the stream now, and I'm going to get back to work because I really need to finish this game. So this has been a nice break. I'm gonna grab a cold, refreshing beverage. I hope all of you take care of yourselves, be well, and I'll see you soon. It dropped. Did it drop?